everybody, it's me, Corey T, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to stop negative thoughts from manifesting. I get asked this all the time, and people come to me and they say that they were feeling a certain way, and then on top of that they then started thinking, oh no, what am I doing? Am I manifesting this feeling, this uncomfortable feeling, this negative feeling? And they're judging themselves. So the first thing that I want to say is that negative thoughts are just part of life and part of being a human. So we can't be scared of them all the time, because that is no way to live, is it? It's no way to live to try to avoid the unavoidable. We're going to have negative thoughts. So the first thing that I want to say is let's just budget that in. Let's just budget in negative thoughts into the equation, because we can't really avoid the fact that we're human and sometimes we're going to have them. So the idea is not to not have them, but to relate to them differently so that we're not compounding them and making them bigger and bigger and bigger. So we've got to take the fear out of having negative thoughts and just see them as thoughts. So you're going to have positive thoughts, negative thoughts. Neither are good or bad, they are just thoughts. So start to see them as that. The problem is when you identify with the negative thoughts, and this happens often because we've got a story and we have lived experience of these negative, uncomfortable emotions that we've experienced associated with certain events or relationships or situations, work, money, whatever it is. And we have this inner story which creates an emotion in our body, which then feeds our mind. So our mind is just reflecting what our body is doing with this emotional story that we've kept in our bodies. And so it's kind of happening so automatically. And before we know it, we're in this spiral of thinking about the old story and we're living there again. So the important thing is to be able to witness, first of all, just witness what's happening, witness what's going on in your mind, witness the stories that you're living in. And you can make sense of it too by looking at the experiences that you've had before you were starting to become conscious of your ability to create change and change your neural pathways. Before you were aware of that, you were living on autopilot, experiencing things and creating a story and an inner dialogue, which has made it very easy for your thoughts to pop up with these old things that are basically just your mind trying to protect you. So first of all, when you're having these negative thoughts, usually it's because your mind is trying to protect you. That old story within yourself is being activated. So as soon as you disidentify from the thoughts, they kind of vanish into thin air. Like they don't become anything, because you've taken all of the charge out of it. You've taken all of the power out of it. And that is literally what you just need to keep doing. Stop identifying with the thoughts. This is honestly like a safety cushion between you and creating these negative thoughts, is you being able to witness them, see them and say, that's the old story, but I don't live there anymore. And yes, I can feel the sensations in my body. Yes, it feels very real, because that's been my physiological habit too. So I can see the thoughts, I can see the feelings, and I'm going to comfort myself as much as possible. I'm going to give myself the comfort that today, right now, I am safe. I am safe. So when the body is dysregulated, you're more likely to have these negative thoughts. So whatever you can do to regulate yourself again, and there are so many ways that you can find to regulate your nervous system again, and they will all be really personalised to you, but that self-regulation and that nervous system regulation will benefit you most if it's a consistent practice that you do even when you're not stressed. So even when you're not dysregulated, if you can do those regulating practices to remind your system that it is safe, then you're less likely to have these negative thoughts in the first place. But as I said, the main thing is being able to see when you're having this negative spiral and you're in a story and you're thinking, oh my God, this is going to happen. Oh no, he or she is going to think this thing of me. And what if I did something or said something? And what if this happens or this happens or this happens? And say you're saying to yourself, oh my God, this actually is happening. This awful thing that you're dreading and fearing. Say you're thinking that. Even then, you're still in a story, and just notice how familiar those feelings feel. When you notice how familiar the feelings are, you can say to yourself, yeah, I have felt this before, therefore it is old. No one gave it to you. No one jumped into your body and pressed a button and said, here's that emotion again. No one did that. That feeling was already living within you, and it's just been poked and activated by something or someone outside of you. You're having thoughts that are likely relevant to stories that you've lived in the past. And now is the powerful moment of change where you say, oh my God, I'm in that old story and I don't want to identify as that anymore. I can see that it is just thoughts, just feelings, and it is not me, and it is not how I'm going to take myself into the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. And you keep on reaffirming that every time it happens. And sometimes, yeah, I say every time, sometimes you're not going to do it. Sometimes it's going to be too difficult. Sometimes it's going to happen too quickly for you to get in there. As soon as you identify those thoughts as, oh, that's the old story, you've put that cushion there between you and it being manifested into your reality, right? You see it as the old story, therefore it can't manifest. And the other thing that I like to do as well is to say to myself, my negative thoughts don't manifest. Like, give yourself that belief, literally give yourself the belief and affirm it over and over again that your negative thoughts, they don't do anything. They really don't have very much power. And remind yourself that your positive thoughts have 100 billion times more power than your negative ones. And when I say 100 billion, I'm just meaning like a large amount. That's not a scientific term, but a lot more power than your negative ones. And give yourself that belief, because at the end of the day, it's what you believe, isn't it, that matters. If you believe that your positive thoughts are more powerful than your negative ones, then that is the truth and the reality that you will live in. We've got to do the retraining, the rewiring by noticing, oh, that's my old story. Yep. Thank you, thoughts, for trying to protect me. I can see what you're trying to do there, and I can see that you really, really want to protect me because this is really uncomfortable. But actually, I'm going to be okay. Look, I'm here. I'm in the present. And look around and see how safe you are. And remind yourself that everything is okay. All is well. And then know that because you've done that, those thoughts will not be created. We know that the repetition of certain statements and information that you hear over and over and over again, as you have witnessed and experienced by being in this manifestation community, you probably have certain beliefs now about manifestation, right? And you did that and you got those beliefs through hearing those things again and again and again and repeating them to yourself, right? So now it's just the process of just doing that again with something that you want to be true. Like, my negative thoughts, they don't really have any power and they don't create anymore. They used to, but they don't now. Just keep saying that to yourself and then it will be true. This is not to say that difficult things or sad things won't happen in your life at some point, but it's the obsessive thinking and the fear of these negative thoughts that are the problem for so many people. Like, this process is literally what people are taught to do when recovering from OCD and many other mental health issues that people have. And it's also, you know, what we learn in mindfulness and meditation. We're observing, we're watching, we're disidentifying so that we can view what's going on in our mind from a different perspective rather than being in it and thinking that that's just who we are and that's it and that's the end. We don't need to do that. You don't need to do that anymore. But yeah, it is a practice and it takes repetition and practice. But you can do it. It gets easier and easier and easier as time goes on. So disidentify with the thoughts. Give yourself the belief that your negative thoughts are just not powerful. They don't do anything. And your positive ones are like 10 billion times more powerful than your negative ones, and that those negative thoughts and feelings are just coming from the old story and there is nothing that needs to be done. And when you do this, you just give yourself the peace of mind, like, yep, I saw the story, I see the story, therefore it's not going to manifest. I'm working on it, I'm changing my beliefs, it's going to get easier over time. But for now, yes, these feelings and thoughts are uncomfortable, but they're just that, they're just feelings, just thoughts, not me, not who I am. So I hope you found this video useful. If you would like to book a one-to-one session or a package of sessions, I'm going to leave the link in the description below, and I will see you in the next video.